Welcome, everybody, to another Podcasting with Power. I'm Zachary Davis. That's Jordan Carlson over there. Jordan, how are you doing this week?
Oh, I'm pretty good, I have to say. It's been a wild week.
I was going to say, we were both complaining about this. But, okay. But you're doing well.
Yeah.
Have you got any gaming in? It's been a wild week. Have you had any time for the video games?
So, to be honest, not as much time as I usually have.
Okay.
But I do get small time. I feel like I put myself to sleep most nights playing Game Boy in bed.
Okay, sure.
So, I can't say I've really stuck to anything. I've just been kind of like, honestly, just kind of rifling through a couple of different Pokemon ROM hacks. But
cool.
That's been a majority of my gaming this week. What about you?
I can't find a game to really sink my teeth into. I'm bouncing all over the place. I did play the Dragon Drive Global Jam demo thing this past weekend.
Okay.
Game is now out for anybody listening. But I did play it, and we'll talk a little bit about this during the news. I will say I enjoyed my time with it. I did. It's the mechanics are fun. They work most of the time. The control scheme and all that.
Right.
It's cool. But yeah, well, most of the time it's a little finicky.
We like that.
I did download UFO 50 and played a little bit of that. I played a handful of the games, not too many yet. I don't know how I want to tackle that. If I want to just like jump around a lot, or if I want to like focus and like play through one at a time.
What
do you got?
I forgot to mention something.
What's that?
I played the Adventures of Elliot demo.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Talk about that.
Dude. So I completed it.
Okay.
I was so impressed by so many different aspects of it. I know I briefly touched on it last week. I think I was just saying I was interested in playing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took the time. It is hard. Which I loved, and I think this was probably over text between us, but I am a huge fan of the combat. I love that it's not. I like turn-based style. I do. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it, but I like it more that it's not.
Okay, yeah.
And because of it, the boss battle, it went on for so long. There were so many different phases of that battle that required you to look at what was happening to the environment in order to dodge some of the attacks. Okay. And so I feel like I'm having my cake and eating it too. Like I get how it looks, the HD 2D that I'm a big slut for, as mentioned. And then I also have this extremely engaging combat system that I love. So to me, it kind of almost brought me back to, I know this is kind of a weird comparison, but like very much a Link to the Past, where it's like, cool. Okay. The sword play, the shield, and finding different elemental ways to avoid things. I love it.
Is this demo like a dungeon than a boss? Like sort of?
Kind of. It's not really a dungeon. It's more so like an area. So you do a lot of exploration in this area. I guess now that I'm kind of thinking about it, since you asked, it is kind of a dungeony area. Yeah, it's a little puzzly. You're going around finding keys. And then you find yourself in the boss battle, and of course credits roll after that fight. But I'm bummed that I have to wait for so long, honestly, next year.
Is this one of those situations where like the progress is going to carry over when the game comes out? Or are you going to be able to like pick up from that point?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Not sure? Okay.
I'm not sure.
I know Square does that sometimes, so it could happen.
But yeah, I encourage you, if you haven't checked it out, check that one out.
Cool. I'll have to do that. I still need to play the Mina the Hollower demo. I downloaded that after that presentation as well, and haven't started that up yet.
I downloaded that too. I think that might be my evening activity tomorrow.
Okay, that one does carry over. I know that. So we'll be able to jump right in when that comes out.
Cool.
What else did I play? Last night I felt inspired to start Mafia: The Old Country. Oh. Not on a Nintendo platform, but I did start that. Play the prologue. It's all right. You know how sometimes, and we are Nintendo guys, so we get the privilege of good game feel. When you start up a Zelda, when you start up a Mario, it feels good, right? The second you get control, you're like, okay, I get what I'm doing here. I'm jumping, I'm running around. But when you start a new game and you can tell the second you get control, you're like, I kind of know what level of quality this is.
Yeah.
That's very much the feeling I got from Mafia: The Old Country, where I was like, okay, this is, it's one of these. It's a 7 at best, probably.
Oh, man.
But, we'll see. I did download, though, and I don't know, it didn't really pop for me during the presentation, but looking at it on the eShop afterwards, I decided I wanted to play Is the Seat Taken?
Oh.
And so that has kind of been my wind down game this past week.
Okay.
It's doesn't seem like it's very long from what I can tell, but I'm probably halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way through it. And it is kind of exactly what you'd think it is. It's just figuring out the logistics of where to seat people next to each other. So they all have preferences. Some people want to be by a window. Some people are wearing too much cologne. Other people don't want to smell that cologne.
Oh my God.
Some people are talking, listening to loud music, stuff like that. And it's all sort of different scenarios, movie theaters, baseball games, buses, that kind of thing. And you are just figuring out how to position them. It's very like, what's that board game that you play as a kid where you're guessing the people? Guess Who?
Guess Who, yeah.
Yeah. It's very much kind of that, where you're like looking at their traits and you're like, okay, like who can go where, and you're just moving people around. I'm really enjoyed it. It starts off pretty easy, as you'd imagine, but I'm getting to the point now where like I'm probably spending 10, 15 minutes on some of these where I'm like, I almost have it, but there's like one guy who he's stinky and I don't have anywhere to put him because, nobody around him wants to deal with the stink.
I'm looking at a screenshot right now. It's like, I want my backpack next to me. I forgot to shower.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you get a lot of those. A lot of forgot to showers.
Oh my God.
But it's fun. It's $10. I would recommend it so far.
Okay.
It's just kind of a chill, cozy game.
Interesting.
But yeah. So if you haven't really played much else, let's jump into the housekeeping before we get into the meat of the show here. Podcasting with Power is an independent podcast made by the two of us, and your support goes a long way. You can watch PWP on YouTube and Spotify, or listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Wherever you are, we'd really appreciate it if you'd follow, like, comment on, or review the show. You can also keep up with us on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and more at Pod with Power. We post show updates, clips, and anything else we think you might find interesting. So check that out and help support the show. In Nintendo news this week, Jordan, I've got 4 stories for you.
Okay.
Not monumental news, but, some interesting things, I think.
Okay.
Story number 1. This is from Liam Doolin at Nintendo Life. This happened right after we recorded last week. I don't know if you saw this.
Mm-mm.
So Nintendo announces new Hello Mario app for Switch and mobile devices. Nintendo has today announced it's releasing a new line of Mario-themed products, videos, and even an app designed for parents and their children. The free smart device and Switch app is officially titled Hello Mario and allows kids to interact with Mario's face. Based on the description and footage so far, it looks a bit like the Super Mario 64 Start menu feature, allowing you to interact with a 3D version of Mario's head. This app will be made available for free on both of these platforms on August 26th of this year and is published by Nintendo. It will require iOS 15 or Android 6.0 or later to play. As for the rest of the My Mario line, Nintendo is also releasing 2 wooden block sets and a Hello Mario board book. One small but interesting detail about the wooden block sets is that each of the characters can be used as an amiibo figure in compatible games. So, I'm just going to start off and state the obvious. This is probably not for us. We are not babies, and we are not parents. So, not the target demographic for this. However, I do think it's kind of interesting. I like when Nintendo branches out into other things. Start them early, right?
Yeah.
Make Mario a household name. What do you think when you see something like this?
I can't help but just think about how long tell me you didn't zone out on that start screen as a kid.
Oh, absolutely. That was so fun as a kid.
I don't know why. And then I think it was I don't even know how I did this, but as soon as I discovered you could hold R and it would hold them,
yep.
I was like, you gotta be joking me.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know why I did. I don't know why it captured my attention, but when I see stuff like this, I'm just happy that it exists because it's familiar.
Well, I think, you kind of when you're very little like that, you kind of you see these characters, you definitely gravitate towards your favorites. But video games kind of have this obstacle where you have to be able to play them, right?
Yeah.
So I think you inherently can't get into someone like Mario as early as you can a Mickey Mouse or a Bugs Bunny, right?
Right.
And so I think it's very smart for Nintendo to be like, no, like, give your kids some Mario blocks. Like, let them play with Mario's face on your phone. Like, they're already playing on your phone, so
yeah,
go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little story, and it's coming out very soon. Story number 2, The Legend of Zelda movies. Social media account highlights the weirdness of Nintendo's franchise being made by Sony Pictures. This is by Tom Phillips at IGN. Nintendo fans have reacted in surprise and amusement at the fact that Sony is running the official social media account for The Legend of Zelda movie, and specifically the fact that it follows the official PlayStation account rather than any of the official accounts for Nintendo. The official Legend of Zelda movie profile on X, formerly known as Twitter, is verified directly by Sony Pictures' own official account, seemingly confirming its legitimacy. It recently sprang into life, retweeting various articles about the film's production and casting news. Currently, the official account follows just 2 others, Sony Pictures itself, which makes some sense, because the company is co-financing and distributing the film, and Sony's video game division, PlayStation. So, I don't know if this is an intern who knew Zelda's a video game. What's a video game? PlayStation. I don't know how this happened, but weird that Nintendo isn't on the list of follows. I'm not so weirded out by PlayStation being followed, right?
Yeah.
But it's weird to just follow PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, given the entire history, yeah, weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get on that. I'm not using X too much these days. I don't know about you.
I pop on every so often, but not really, yeah.
So, yeah, not a ton on that. Just an interesting little thing, right? Where it's like, because I did see this pop up, and I was like, oh, that's wild.
I mean,
because Nintendo is active on X, I believe they still are.
Do you feel like this is any kind of foreshadowing for the movie?
No. I you're gonna get those Reddit posts where it's like, look, I got The Legend of Zelda on my PlayStation, on my Xbox, and they just pull up like the movie. Like you saw that with like the Last of Us show.
Yeah.
Last of Us finally on Xbox.
Oh god.
And it's like, okay, fun, but no. I mean, there was a story recently about PlayStation. They're not necessarily going to open the floodgates, but they are kind of refocusing their strategy. It's not going to be so PlayStation first. A lot of their games are on PC now.
Yeah.
They're publishing Helldivers on Xbox later this month. We did get Lego Horizon on Switch. Was that earlier this year? I don't know. But I don't think it's going to go the other way. I don't think Nintendo is anywhere near putting The Legend of Zelda anywhere else.
No, I don't. No. But I'm just wondering. It's just, I want this movie to be ironclad.
Yeah, so I know we have our fears.
When I see this kind of stuff, it makes me wonder how much due diligence is being done. You know what I mean?
Sure. The best people maybe aren't on this.
Right. And maybe this is just, the small job. It's just a small job.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's what I like to think. But still, any little thing, though. And that's the other, I don't know. It's surprising because Mario movie we've talked about, they had this big roster of actors, voice actors, whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was very protected. It was it was really well done. I really loved it. And Zelda's another one, going to be very protective about it. It's very important. It's very historical. Yeah. And it's weird. It's weird that this is happening a little bit, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like I can't pass too much judgment on it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a ton of hope at this stage of the game,
Yeah.
And not that I necessarily think it's going to be, a dumpster fire. God. But I don't know yet. It's going to take a few more cast announcements. It's going to maybe take a trailer.
Yeah.
Before I start to get my hopes up that this could be something really cool.
Yeah. I rarely feel anxious about stuff like this, and I actually feel anxious about this.
Yeah. Well, you should. Javier Rad is producing. He's produced some great Spider-Man movies. Mm-hmm. He's also produced all of the bad ones and all of the spin-offs.
Well,
so that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Story number 3. I've got another app for you.
Okay.
You want another app?
Sure.
Okay. The Pokemon Company releases new mobile app called Pokemon Events. This is by Liam Doolin at Nintendo Life. Nintendo has already launched a news app this year, and now the Pokemon Company International is following this up with its own events application for mobile devices. This new app, officially known as Pokemon Events, is now available on Android and iOS, and as the name suggests, it's your portal to Pokemon events. This app will allow you to keep tabs on upcoming Pokemon activities, social gatherings, and events in your schedule by logging in with your account. A login is going to be required for this. The new app rolls out ahead of the Pokemon World Championships 2025, which will be taking place later this month at the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California. By the time this is out, I guess that'll be done. But the app is out there. I saw in this article, there's a picture that shows it's got like a variety of different things on the agenda here. There's like a collect and trading event for the trading card game. There are workshops. I don't necessarily know what that entails. There's something with artists here, pin trading. It looks like they're gonna populate this with a lot of different Pokemon related things. And I mean, Pokemon is still, for something that's almost 30 years old, it's still incredibly popular with like all demographics. It's pretty incredible seeing, how people flock to TCG releases still and go to these events. Like, are you going to be checking the Pokemon Events app?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
It's not really for me. I know we've got some excitement for ZA coming up in October, but you're not engaging too much with Pokemon outside of the video games, are you?
So I don't like recent stuff. No, I have a couple of friends who are really into trading card game, just cards in general, I guess I should say.
Okay.
And as of late, it's kind of stirred up my interest in Pokemon cards in general.
Okay.
So I have been kind of dabbling back into that world a little bit, but like, again, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Nintendo, but I'm a very casual fan too, and I kind of stick to what I like. I'm trying to be a little bit more daring, but I mean, I have my old cards. I really like that, so I'm kind of like dipping my feet into that world of the newer cards and all that kind of stuff. So like I am interested. So like it does pique my interest a little bit to kind of know, because they have all these different events for the cards, and
absolutely,
it is helpful to know or have a hub to keep you informed, because I can see how, if I was a parent and my children were interested in Pokemon trading cards, I'd be Googling, but this could potentially be a spot where it'd tell them everything they need to know.
Well, can you imagine if this was around when we were kids and we were super into Pokemon? We'd be showing our parents this app nonstop.
100%.
Look at this thing's here, this thing's over there.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
So it's great to have. I'm like, another thing, I hate that I say this all the time, but it's like, it's something I'm glad that it exists. It's just not for me. I don't need it.
Exactly. Yeah. This kind of same with you. The stuff outside of the video games, and even the video games as of late, haven't really stuck with me.
Yeah.
I got into the Pokemon 151 trading card set. I collected all of those. But that's kind of it. I haven't, outside of that, I haven't bought Pokemon cards in decades, and I don't really engage with it like that. But like you said, I think it's very cool that it exists.
Yeah.
Our last story here is a review roundup for Dragon Drive, which came out now last week if you're listening to this. It's not good, man. I'm bummed, right? Because I don't want to say the game isn't good. The Global Jam demo that I played is very bare bones. It puts you in a park. There are mini games to do while you wait for a match. It populates the teams you play. I played, I don't know, maybe a dozen matches or so. Okay. And it's fine. Like I alluded to at the beginning, so for those that don't know, it is a wheelchair basketball game, and it is a motion controlled wheelchair basketball game. So you are moving around, you're taking the Joy-Con, you're holding them in mouse mode, and I was doing it on like my legs, because that's one of the ways it suggests doing it, but you could do it on a different surface or something like that. And then when you want to shoot the ball, you raise up like that, do it. There's all sorts of tricks you can do if you really want to get deep. It is fun. I'll say that. But what it lacks is, and I know you're an ARMS hater, okay? Yeah. And I'm an ARMS defender. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like ARMS is the greatest thing Nintendo has ever done, or even the greatest thing they've done in the last decade. But ARMS has a personality to it.
It does.
That this game doesn't have.
It does.
You know, there's some customization options for your chair, for your outfit, your helmet, all that stuff. But you just end up looking like Master Chief, no matter what you do. You know, there's options, but there's not really options.
Oh, man.
And there's no character to it. So for $20, I'm not going to say like stay away from Drag and Drive, but it's not, I don't think I'm going to spend any more time with it than I have. Okay. But going into this review roundup here on OpenCritic, I'm looking at it right now. It's got a critic average of 61, which is not good. You know, not bad. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I'll read you a little blurb here from Steve Watts at GameStop, who gave it a 5 out of 10. All right.
Okay.
The multiplayer-focused sports game from Nintendo has a novel control scheme, but is tiring and feels imprecise. I will say that it is tiring. I was tired. I played it for about an hour, and afterwards, my arms were sore. I was like, "This is," because you're going, and it's very. I don't want to say finicky, but it is. You really have to make like not exaggerated, but like you have to do the full motion. You can't just like half-ass it, you know?
Yeah.
And you're hitting the half pipe, you're doing tricks. Like it's pretty intense, Jordan.
I want to like make it really clear that I'm laughing at only just the sight of the playing this game.
Well, so I played it on the couch. I did not tell Kali what I was doing. So she was on TikTok in the dark on one side of the couch, and I set the Switch down. I put it in tabletop mode, set it on the side there, and then I just start, I'm sitting there, and and she's like, "What? It's wrong. Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And once, once I explained what I was doing, she, thought it was kind of cool. She was like, "It's cool, the inclusivity of it all and the concept."
Yeah.
And it is very cool. And like I said, the controls work better than you'd expect. Mm-hmm. That said, sometimes when I get going, I'm trying to, get a fast break, go down the court there, and it thinks I've got my arm up. I'm ready to shoot. And I'm like, no, I'm too far away.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, where I'm ready to shoot and it's just not doing it. Okay. I had a couple of those moments, but not too many.
The inclusivity and all that, very cool. I honestly, absolutely. I kind of... the motion is the whole thing, right? Like that's what makes the game different. That's what makes it cool. Like if I could just play with a controller, well, it's not as interesting, maybe you could say, I guess. But it is cool that it's there, but it is hilarious. Like the games like ARMS, where like all the moving games, anything that you have to do and move, I always feel so funny doing that. And
sure.
I just think of, when you walk into rooms and seeing people doing something, which, I don't really care what people think of me doing it. Honestly, if someone videotaped me doing it, I would laugh at that as well.
Sure.
But it's a bummer that it doesn't work as well as you'd hope it did.
No, and I think what's more egregious, and Logan Plant here from IGN, I think kind of hits it with this blurb, he gave it a 6 out of 10. With the proper setup, Nintendo's take on wheelchair basketball is a lot of fun and controls surprisingly well, which I agree with.
Okay.
But Drag and Drive sadly lacks enough content, variety, and personality to build around those fundamentals. Yeah. And I think that's, for me, the more egregious thing.
Oh, just the lack of character and feel.
Yeah. It's just, there's not enough there. There's not enough variety in the gameplay. Like I said, I played maybe a dozen matches.
Okay.
And they all felt largely the same.
Isn't that like shocking too, kind of a little bit? I mean, like, because ARMS, like you mentioned, tons of personality. The music was interesting. Everything was. I feel like the feel of ARMS was very interesting. And then Splatoon, which obviously is not a body motion game, but just saying it was a new entry that Nintendo had.
Absolutely.
And it was tons of personality, very different gameplay. So they're kind of on a roll with creating these new games that have that, and it's surprising that they would miss so bad on something with such a I don't know.
I would say the gameplay in this is deeper than ARMS, like the moment-to-moment gameplay.
Okay,
Like ARMS
yeah.
has more modes and things like that, and they added to it, But I think the actual just like playing basketball, there is more complexity to that than there was punching people with your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do. I wish there were things, and maybe the full game has this. I don't know, having just played the test thing.
Yeah.
I want unlockables. I want cool outfits. I want to make the thing my own.
Well, maybe they will. I mean, it's not too late.
You never know.
Maybe they will.
Yeah.
But
it's a bummer. I think it was on Reddit, someone saying that it's really wild how 2 of the worst Switch games come from Nintendo. Like lowest reviewed. You've got this one and you've got Welcome Tour. And it's like, because they're doing great work. Donkey Kong Bonanza, gonna be game of the year. I'm telling you right now. But here we are, then you've got the other end, and it's Dragon Drive, which has missed the mark.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, hopefully they add to it and stuff. With the way it's being received right now, I kind of think they're just gonna ditch it.
Man.
Which is a bummer, because there is something cool there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they're trying.
Absolutely. I like seeing them try new things. They don't always work. Sometimes they're just a moment in time. Like Nintendogs was a moment in time.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want a new one, but I did enjoy it back then.
Yeah.
Let's do a little out this week. There wasn't anything huge here this coming week, but I wanted to highlight a couple games. So on August 19th, we've got Shantae Advance Risky Revolution. What I found interesting about this, are you familiar with the Shantae?
Yeah.
Favorite Game Boy game?
Yeah.
So they made that original Game Boy Color game. They sought to make a sequel in 2002, couldn't find a publisher for it, canceled it. They later brought the franchise back in like 2010, but this game is the finished sequel that never was.
Okay.
So they've now gone back, they've finished it, and here it is. So you've got that coming out August 19th. Then on August 20th, you got a little indie called Discounting, which caught my eye. You manage a discount supermarket in this one. I kind of like, it's not, I don't know what to even call this genre. Like, it's not Harvest Moon, it's not Stardew, but it's, you just kind of exist in a town and you're building relationships and you're going through the motions. And this kind of feels like one of those.
Okay.
And then on August 21st, we've got Herdling, which we saw in the indie world, where you're herding all the different animals. I thought this one looked a little interesting. Not too much, beyond herding the animals, as far as I know, but that's coming out. But the one that really did catch my eye, and I like that Nintendo teased this ahead of time, because it feels like they're putting some effort into this, and that is Chibi Robo coming to GameCube Classics on Nintendo Switch Online on August 21st. Did you see the trailer for this?
I did.
So Chibi Robo, a GameCube game that I didn't have. Turns out a lot of people didn't have, because it is very hard to acquire now. It's very expensive to acquire now. Do you have any experience with this game?
Small. It was, I think, 3DS that I experienced with Chibi Robo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that one's pretty different. This is like a full 3D platformer sort of deal. I'm really excited to finally have this in a way where I can actually play through it, not just play over at somebody's house. And
I remember this game. I remember seeing this game quite a bit.
Yeah, I remember finding it very interesting at the time. The description I took from Wikipedia here. The player takes the role of Chibi Robo, a 10-centimeter tall robot owned by the Sanderson family. Gameplay revolves around navigating a household and collecting happy points by collecting various tasks, from housework to helping solve the dilemmas of the Sanderson family and the numerous living toys that inhabit their household. Every action consumes energy and requiring the player to recharge after using electrical outlets. Man, I cannot read these today. Glad we're almost done with this part of the show. Yeah, it sounds interesting. So I didn't mention this when we were talking about what we were playing, but I took out Bakaru from the library, which we've talked about, kind of a mystical ninja successor. I have not started it yet, but now I think maybe I won't anytime soon, because I think I'd rather play this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Definitely...
How much?
How much what?
How much of the GameCube classics have you found yourself playing since the Switch 2 came out?
Not a ton.
Not as much as I would have thought.
No.
Yeah.
Not as much. I think, honestly, I had said this before, so I won't harp on it, but like Strikers, cool. Very cool. Yeah. But like not something I play alone usually.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Wind Waker, I'm holding out still.
Yeah, I keep telling myself I'm gonna start doing that because I do want to play it on there. I do. But it's just like I'm kind of waiting for the right time where I can feel like I can really like dedicate the time it deserves.
Yeah.
I did play some F-Zero. I did play, you know, through Soul Calibur 2. Like I've definitely spent some time with it, but yeah, I don't think I've really sank my teeth into anything like I would with a game like this, like I would with a Wind Waker.
Yeah, I honestly like. I guess this is the way of it. I think I'm really only there to play games I haven't really played. I feel like, which is not the direction I typically take with the classics. It's usually a great place for me to replay games, Donkey Kong, like we've talked about. But I feel like I'm not trying to play the GameCube Wind Waker. I'm not. I'll plug my Wii U in, you know.
All right.
So I'm waiting for other things that like this that I haven't experienced this thoroughly. I'm just looking for something else to have fun with. But yeah, not a lot of interest for me right now.
Okay, fair enough. So that is going to wrap up our Nintendo news for this week. And this is, you know, now the topic of the show. And Jordan, this was an idea you had. So I'm going to let you have the floor and introduce your topic for this week.
This is a classic conversation. I feel like everybody's had it. Maybe not about video games, but I feel like I know that we've talked about this in the past. Okay. But I want to get really real about it. And I was talking to Amanda before the show, except we were doing it with movies because that was maybe a little bit more relatable for her.
Sure. Yeah.
So I want to know what video game universe you would like to live in, and what role you might play in those universes.
Okay, I like that second half of the question.
Yes, I think that's what makes it a little bit more interesting. And I'm going to kick it off with a couple of different scenarios, like of how we can think about this.
Okay. Sure.
So let's use Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I feel like anytime you place yourself in one of these universes, and I'm not saying this is the one I choose, by the way. I'm just using this as an example of how we can look at this. Okay, so like, Link's a kid, right? He gets woken up.
Yeah.
This tree's like, "Yo, I'm cursed. Get in there. Get this thing out of here. You're chosen." Blah blah. Blah. He's like, "Whoa, okay," you know. So you do that, but you're a kid. You're moldable. You know, like you're not being thrown into the universe. I'm growing up in it. Okay.
Fair enough.
In this scenario, Link had no experience with sword play. Like it was all brand new to him. In that instance, if you wanted to be the main character, could you be Link? Maybe I could.
I think in that game you could, because he is, like you said, figuring things out as he goes.
Yeah. So like, and this example, to be clear, like I'm thinking like, could I have the main character energy of this game? You know, but then you're thinking about it. Then because like it's still you, like as an adult, but like you've grown into this universe, you get used to seeing these things. So it's like this weird psyche thing of like, when I turn into an adult, I have to fight these gigantic things. Could I handle that?
Sure.
You know, so there's that. So like you've grown into this universe because just like the main character did, you grew into the role. Okay. And then there's this other perspective. If I just lived in the Zelda universe. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, that's kind of how I approached it. And what's funny is it was way easier to come up with places I didn't want to live. Yeah. And the ones I kept going back to were different Zelda games. Because Zelda has a tendency to, at some point in the game, the world will drastically change.
Yeah.
You know, where suddenly there's a dark world. The world is covered in twilight. The world is flooded. Like, you know, Link's going to disappear for 100 years. Like, and I don't want to deal with that.
No.
You know?
Right.
So I'm curious, you are the Zelda guy. Are you thinking you want to live in any particular Zelda game? Because I don't want to be in any of them.
You know, I'm trying to separate I'm trying to separate the outside perspective, and I'm thinking like this, because that's the gambit, right? Like,
sure,
just trying to make it real for you. And the Zelda universe, boy, I don't think so, man.
No.
Like you said, and it's funny that you say it this way too, because that's exactly how I looked at it. I was looking at all the different games because that's my favorite, you know. So I'm thinking, which one? If I chose one, and honestly, the only one that I think, and I mean, like you said though, there's flooding. Specifically, where in the timeline? I don't want to be, dude. What if I'm like 100? You know, I was born right at the 100-year waiting mark for Link to show up. Like, that sucks. Yeah. I'd want to show up like things are flooded, and I live on Outset or Windfall. Particularly, I think I'd like to end up there. There's a school there.
Yeah, you can learn how to read.
But I wouldn't mind living, I think, during Wind Waker. I mean, what, dude? It'll storm for a couple of days straight? All right.
Yeah, you're right. That, of the Zelda worlds, that is probably the best one, as long as, like you said, it's established. You're not living on Hyrule when it floods.
Yeah.
For example, because that'd be pretty terrible.
It would be. It'd be pretty awful.
But you're right. If you just grow up on one of these islands and hang out, yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but for Zelda though, overall, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's.
No, you go down the list; they're all bad.
They're all bad. It's all pretty bad.
They all have, because that's kind of how I took it. You're right. You could be any point on the timeline, but yeah, I don't want to live in Ocarina of Time, and then Ganondorf takes over, and I gotta wait 7 years for something to happen. Like, that's, there are bodies walking around the town square right now.
Yeah.
What are we doing about that?
Castletown's not the place. Not the place to be. No, even like Kakariko, you're like, things get pretty dark.
Yeah.
Like, the well's not what it used to be.
No. That fucking ghost. What's going on? Because that's the thing. Being the main character, you at least know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't. I run a chicken coop. I don't know what's happening.
No. Dude. And then there's a Majora's Mask.
Okay. I mean, yeah, bad.
Now, bad, but
you see that moon?
You're blissfully ignorant.
I don't know. I feel like I would take a look.
You'd be like,
and I know I'm getting real close.
And then, like,
the ground is shaking.
You're just like walking town, third day. It's like,
yeah.
You're like, dude. Okay.
Why is the music all so fast?
The whole earth is shaking. I don't know what's happening. No, Majora's Mask, that'd be nuts, but you are blissfully ignorant to what's happening. You don't know that you're Groundhog Daying it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But still, that one, not so bad, because it does restart every time, when it's about to go down. So it's not like you have to experience it.
Yeah, I think the average person is probably only really aware that last day, maybe day 2. So up until that point, you're good.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you don't have too much to worry about.
I'll work night shift at Stockpot Inn,
Sure.
Like, that's fine. Not a big deal.
Fair enough.
Now, what would be nice to live in? Well, I was thinking, now this isn't my top choice, okay, but I was just thinking, like, where would feel, I feel like I'm thinking too hard about what I think you're gonna say. Animal Crossing.
Okay, yeah, no, I have that on my list.
That's on your list? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about Animal Crossing?
So I like the idea of living in Animal Crossing. I would maybe want to be one of the animals. I want to be a native to wherever I am.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the idea of that. Although it's fine to, the villager coming in, they get a nice little house right off the bat. That's cool. Very chill place to live. Not a lot of conflict, and I think it would be fun to be in the political system of Animal Crossing, and not in like a sinister way, right? But like they do in the more recent games, you're doing little projects, you're building bridges, you're putting benches down. Like, I think it'd be very fun to be in that system. A public servant of the Animal Crossing world.
Where's all the Well, I was gonna say money. Where are all the bells coming from?
I don't know.
you know? Like, that's
Are we
what I'm
making
thinking.
them?
I was like working. I was like, man, I'm going to live on whatever my New Horizons island is. And, wait, I don't have to work. I was like thinking like, just going to go catch some bugs.
Yeah.
Sell them to the museum. I was like, where's the museum getting money? They have
that little coffee shop that keeps them afloat.
Keeps them afloat. Where's all the funding? You know what I mean? Like, they got offshore bank accounts?
Well, I mean, to be fair, before you start bringing them things, they have nothing in there. So it's not like they're spending all this money acquiring exhibits.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah. There's definitely some shady, and maybe this would be why it'd be interesting to go kind of, put things under a microscope. But yeah, the economics of Animal Crossing are interesting.
So you don't want to be Tom Nook?
No, I don't want to do that. I don't like the idea of being a landlord or anything like that.
Okay, but you want to be in the political system.
Yeah, and like I said, not in a sinister way. Just like I want to be on a council. I want to figure out where we're putting stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
City, you want to work for the city.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. City administration.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll interface with the people, figure out what they want, make it happen.
They're like, balloons. We need more balloons. And you're like,
sure.
Balloons, you got it.
Yeah, we'll get those slingshots off the streets.
Oh, I want to hear your list.
Okay, so the list was only three things deep, and
sure.
you hit one of them right on the head. So I'll go with one that I imagine you probably didn't pick, because when I told Kali about this one, she was kind of horrified that I said it. And that is the world of Pikmin. Okay, now a scary place. I'll say.
All right.
The world they're from, not so scary as when they come. It's PF 404. It's Earth, and that is scary. We got monsters, we got all sorts of stuff. But I really like the idea of being one of these explorers that comes after Olimar comes back and is like, hey, they got all these treasures, we got to go back and make all this money. I want to be one of those treasure hunters, one of those explorers to find the cool little things in the Pikmin world.
Okay. That is a good answer, actually.
Because I think I can do it. I'm pretty good at Pikmin. I think I can stay alive. I would enjoy hanging out with those guys,
Okay.
I'd be very curious about what they are and kind of want to study them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'd have a good relationship.
Interesting. Okay. I had Super Mario Sunshine.
Ooh, okay.
On my list.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'd probably just be a merchant, man. I think I'd be on Isle Delfino. Because they're not really dealing with a whole lot. Just a little bit of graffiti, a little bit of pollution.
Yeah, up until then, I think they were fine.
Yeah, not really a big deal there. Sure. And it's tropical. So I like that. I know that when I live there's not just going to be music playing all the time, but what I'm hearing, I like it.
Yeah, okay.
But no, it's tropical. It's fun. I can't think of too many catastrophes that are happening that would impact me all that bad. No. And it's just interesting. So
you know what I would want to do? I would want to work at that theme park. Is it Pinta Park? Is that what it's called?
Pinta Park?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Park.
It's alliterative. I would like to work over there. I'll be a mascot or something,
I don't know why I'm drawn to the creepy hotel.
Yeah, see, that one is a little spooky.
I don't know why I like it.
Yeah. Like, even just the way it's like there's like a sunset there. Yeah. And I know it's not like that all the time, but like when I think of that location, I'm like, I don't want to be there. I don't like that time of day.
Dude, it's golden hour, right?
Yeah. But I don't want to live in that all the time.
I want to live in golden hour. See, to me, I think of Twilight Princess with golden hour too. A lot of golden hour.
I definitely don't want to live in Twilight Princess. Absolutely not.
I feel like I'd be really interested. I'm so back and forth on the Zelda thing. It gives me whiplash,
But that's maybe the worst one. Because this is whole areas, whole towns are just being wiped out by this Twilight. Mm-hmm. You lose your physical body. Mm-hmm. You're just a little spirit stuck. You can't do anything, observing.
You're scared. You're cold. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But everyone you meet in there is complaining. No one's happy about it.
Dude, I might have to double back on what I said. I don't know. That sounds interesting to me. You know. Here's the thing. Here's the rub about it, though. Like,
okay,
I always tell this is a wild thing to say. So let's just take it with a grain of salt. But like, I'm always like, man, I'll tell you what. If the end of the world happens, what a hell of a way to go out. You know.
Oh, okay.
Something wild. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of thinking about that. Obviously, you know, not going to be cool though, right? Like, we know this. I'm just saying it'd be scary, it'd be terrifying. I'm not acknowledging that. Okay? Like, it is scary. It is dangerous and it's terrifying. But like, man, that's cooler than dying in my sleep though. You know? And
it is.
And it's not the cool factor necessarily. It's just interesting. It's different. You know, so when I think about Twilight Princess, I'm wondering, would I have the same outlook on that?
So what's interesting about the world of Twilight Princess is it does have a lot of characters that kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of live on the fringes of society. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You've got the Yetis in the mansion. Mm. You've got the one that really comes to mind, and I could see you running an operation like this, is the balloon guy at the lake. He's got the balloon game.
Yeah.
Like, I could see you running a mini game. You know?
That guy,
and you build this whole thing, and people show up, and they pay you rupees, and they try to win.
Dude, that guy, that character, by the way, like, if you went to Cedar Point, and you were like, I need an illustrator. Where is he? There he is. I need you to draw. You describe to him, I want you to draw what you think a guy who has a giant cannon that he has to turn this thing on and it shoots people around. What does that guy look like? It would be that guy. It'd be the guy from the game. That is what.
And I do not believe that you look like this guy, but I do believe I could see you with that same attitude running the cannon.
He does have he's a sassy man. I mean, in a good way, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'd be that guy. I feel like, honestly, I don't know what it is, but like baking, maybe I'm a baker.
Okay.
Maybe I run a little bakery in Castletown, you know?
Okay.
And in Castletown, like, there's like, whoa, look at that giant prism.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But they're like, it's cool, we're still open.
Yeah. Zelda's got too much stuff going on, every one of them.
And then, what, is it Giovanni, that guy's that's just frozen as he's gold?
Oh, the gold guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The golden man.
Yeah. I don't want to be that.
No one's looking for him, he's just there. Like, so much weird shit going on in Castletown. I feel like I would enjoy that atmosphere. I don't know. I just feel like I would. And you know, it's got that like tension. I don't know what it is. I like it. Like, you know, like you're in the bar and there's this group of miscreant like warrior vigilantes, and they're around their table and their map, and they're like, you gotta go to the fucking mountains, or they're like the desert. Like, it's so exciting. I like it. You know.
Okay.
Something really
I think it's a little too much for me. You know.
Understandable. Go ahead. Next on your list.
Well, so the last one I had written down here is probably the most realistic of my choices.
Okay.
And that is living in the world of Pokemon.
Oh, I knew
and being
it.
either some sort of researcher or photographer of Pokemon, in either the Johto or Kanto region, because I like the vibe of those two.
Okay.
And I know them the best, but you know, I'd be anywhere in that Pokemon world.
I want to talk to you about my the argument I had with myself about Pokemon, because I too thought about Pokemon.
Okay.
And it's very whimsical, lots of creatures, Pokemon. And do you remember early? I'm talking animated series now.
Yeah.
Early in the series, there were, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is a real question, there were animals and Pokemon, right?
I feel like I don't really remember animals in the anime. I don't.
I thought I remember seeing regular birds that weren't,
because I feel like people have brought up the fact that there are not animals, and thus the people must, but they're also shown eating meat and things, and so they must be coming from somewhere. And which is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't recall. But I feel like I have heard people mention that there are not animals in the Pokemon world.
Okay. Because that was something I was thinking about. Because I'm thinking about real life. Because obviously in this whole conversation, you're thinking to yourself, okay, let me give you an example. I'm all over the place. This is wild. So like there were a couple of things where, Amanda had brought it up, and because I asked her the same question, she was like Hogwarts Legacy, and I was like, that's just the Harry Potter movies. She's like, no, it's not. Which she's right, it's not, because different.
Yeah,
different story. Different things are happening. It's not Voldemort. It's what's his name? I cannot remember at this point. The Goblin.
I don't know.
Anyway, Ramrock.
Oh, okay.
Ramrock.
It's a different era, right?
Yeah. Anyway, and she was like, well, I'd want to be a beast. What did she say? It was like she'd want to care for the beasts.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I was like, well, why aren't you a veterinarian in real life? She's like, well, that requires like 10 years of school. And I was like, well, what if you went back 10 years? Would you do that? She was like, well, no. And I was like, so are you only interested because they're mystical? She's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, okay. And it just makes me like the Pokemon thing. I'm thinking of real life. I'm like, is that just animals fighting each other? Like, should we, if they,
no,
huh?
No, they like it. They're different than animals because they like to battle.
And I understand that they have abilities, right?
Yeah.
Like they can perform different things. It's not just, they're shooting fire, they're shooting lasers, beams, So it's like, what's the difference of it? If we were all Michael Vick in them, like in real life, is that the same?
So I think they have tackled this moral question in various forms. And I think I have some memory. I don't know where this comes from exactly they want to be doing it. That's why they're partners. They're not. They're not like pets. Like they want to work with you to be the best. That could just be propaganda. I don't know.
They crave companionship for fighting.
Yeah, and they want to train. They want to be the best. Yeah, all that stuff.
I'm really glad that you're bringing this part in the conversation, because I was going back and forth earlier. Like, what do I think? Because Pokemon's my number one, and that's why I'm so interested in kind of going back and forth about it, because it's like, is it the right choice? Like, is it the wrong thing to want?
Well, so I don't have a lot of desire to be part of the Pokemon battle system, of oppression. I don't want to do that. I don't know if you want to be on that side of the world there. But there was a while there where I thought I wanted to go into something biology related. I wanted to and I could see doing that in, Pokemon are inherently more interesting.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I hate that it's this way, but Pokemon Snap was the first thing I thought of.
Well, and that's kind of where the photography came. It kind of blends that idea with, doing some research, going out, finding them in their natural habitat.
And see, I think the reason I chose Pokemon, though, is not just because of the world, but it's because I could go out, like the tone of this conversation, I'm trying to compare it to real life, right? And the difference of me, and I'm not saying, I don't want to take away from real photography and how beautiful that is, because it truly is. But the difference in Pokemon to me is that because they have different abilities, because they're so interesting, because they evolve and they turn into this entirely different thing, there's so much depth that goes into, like, if you really want to dig into it, there's a lot that goes into Pokemon specifically versus animals. And taking pictures, because you remember in the game, you're like, oh, throw it the treats, throw it I can't remember, to be honest, but you provide them different things and it encourages different outcomes with them.
Yeah.
And I think capturing moments like that is crazy. Like, that would be wild, So to me, like, that would be the enticing place to go. That my backup to that was a nutritionist, like a Pokemon nutritionist.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's just the animated versions of it, everything Brock ever cooks, but God, did I salivate.
It did look good. Do you have any more off the top of your head or written down? Because I have an exercise if you're done.
For places?
Yeah.
No, I think we pretty much rifled through the big talking points that I was looking to get into.
So I pulled up a list of Nintendo franchises here.
Okay.
And I'm definitely not going to read them all because there are so many. But I thought maybe we could do some rapid fire.
Yeah.
You know, some we've already touched on, so I will skip those. And some I might lump together. So like right off the top, because it's alphabetical, we have 1080 degrees snowboarding, which I'm going to lump in with Wave Race, kind of any of those
action sports
Nintendo games.
Okay.
They're very similar to our world, but do you want to be in that life? No. We could have done it. We didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
No, I couldn't have been a Wave Race
guy. Do you like playing the game?
How about Custom Robo? You're a Custom Robo guy. You want to build some robots?
Yes, I do.
How are you doing that game?
I loved that game, and 100% yes, I'm into it.
Okay. I don't know it well enough to comment, but I do know Donkey Kong. And,
are you a monkey in this?
Well, so that's the thing. It shares a world with Mario, right? You mentioned Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm talking... So it's in that Mario universe, but yes, I think we're in the jungle. You're probably an animal. That's how I'm envisioning it. I would like to be a Kong.
I would like to be a Kong as well. I wouldn't want to be anything else. I'm not trying to be the fucking rhino.
No. But I don't want to be a Kremling either.
No. Donkey Kong? A lot of shooting out of barrels, man.
I think that'd be fun.
Into other barrels?
Does it hurt?
Dude, you spin me around now, I'm not going to do so hot. You're going to put me in a spinning barrel and shoot me into another one?
I don't know. How about Earthbound? Psychic powers, but monsters.
Why does Earthbound... To me, I connect that to Stranger Things, and I don't really understand why.
I think I could see it. You're a party of children in a supernatural. Yeah, I can see it. I think I want to skip Earthbound. I think it's too weird. I think there's too much going on.
It's very unstable.
A lot of slime. Stuff's attacking you left and right. People running you down in the streets. I don't need that.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay, I'm
into it. I'd do it.
I don't know. Seems dangerous.
I'd live there, except it feels for some reason like Fast and the Furious, except you're a bunch of animals with cars in this weird jungle arena.
But not even always, right? Like, think about, it's one of the wintry levels. Like, you're flying through a village. Like, people live there. And, like, did they have any say in that? Man. Race coming to town?
That's what I'm saying. You're just like a crew. You're just this crew of people, animals, and you're cruising through different ecosystems. And I'd do it. I mean, like, even the outside of what's his name, Whizpig.
Okay, yeah.
Outside of Whizpig, everyone's pretty chill. I mean, you beat those bosses, they're like, "Dang it, you got me."
Yeah, they just wanted a good race.
They're like, "Nice, you were pretty quick." And you're like, "All right." And then you get to Whizpig, and he's a big jerk. But I'd do it. I'd be into it.
So I'm going to lump a couple more together here. They're obviously very different, but just kind of the vibe. F-Zero, Star Fox, or Metroid.
Oh my God.
All sci-fi. Obviously, Star Fox has got some different things going on. But in all three cases here, we're dealing with bounty hunters. So that already makes me a little cautious of being in any of those worlds there. Why are bounty hunters so prevalent? Turns out Nintendo doesn't know what a bounty hunter is. That was something in the development of Metroid Prime that they were like, why is she a bounty hunter? And they were like, what do you mean? Like, that's...
She is.
And it's because Boba Fett was a bounty hunter. They, I think, just thought a guy in a mask was a bounty hunter. A guy in a helmet. And so I think that's why Samus is that way. I do like the idea of Star Fox. I like the idea of space travel.
Yeah. I gotta say, this one I'm doing by the process of elimination. I do not want to live in the Metroid world.
I do think that's probably the worst of the three.
Yeah, I don't want that at all.
No.
What was the other one you named?
F-Zero.
F-Zero. I've never been a big F-Zero fan.
Okay.
But I feel like that's the safest one.
I mean, it's futuristic NASCAR is kind of the focal point of the world there.
You know what? I choose Star Fox, and I choose Star Fox because of the companionship.
Okay. A lot of friendship.
A lot of friendship. I want the friendship. I'll take the danger. They do have
powerful bonds.
Powerful bonds.
Like okay, here's this is actually a good one because I was curious what you thought about this one. Kirby. The world of Kirby. Now, very cutesy. A lot of good food floating around. Again, a lot of friendship. But when things go bad in the Kirby world, they go real bad. Like Black Hole.
Yeah, Black Hole. All kinds of life in Kirby too. All kinds of different life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember some of the planets. You know what though? Yeah. I think I could live in Kirby. I don't know what role I'd play, though.
Yeah, I don't dislike the idea, It's not my first choice, but they do seem like they're having fun most of the time.
Yeah. It's hard. Honestly, some of these are, like, when I think of Kirby, first of all, I think of Crystal Shards, I think of Superstars.
Sure.
And I think of Dreamland.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously man, why am I'm blowing it on the new title. Forgotten Land. And I just don't see a lot to do there. Like, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know what I'd be doing. Because honestly, half the time I have no idea what's going on in these stories for the most part. I'm like, DDD's back and he's hammering.
Sure.
So I'm like, where do I fall in here? And I'm like, am I just lost in that weird tree like forest? What's going on here? And
I think it's all about food prep. That's what you gotta get into.
Food prep.
Yeah.
See, like when I was thinking of these different places, like Cyberpunk.
Okay, seems scary. I don't know that world very well.
I think I'd do it. I'd live in Night City. It's dangerous.
Okay.
But I feel like I'd be okay. You'd kind of find that family. Did you ever play through Cyberpunk?
I haven't, no.
Oh, that's right. You're saving it, right?
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I wanted to play it on Switch or somewhere else.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to. Maybe I'll save a little bit of what I'm going to say then, because I almost just gave away a huge thing. So I'll keep that to myself. But right. I feel like I'll find my crew. Those who played Cyberpunk know what I'm saying.
So obviously Cyberpunk is now on Switch 2, but it up until recently was not. Do you have some other things from kind of outside of the first party Nintendo, but even just maybe aren't on a Nintendo platform at all?
So I thought about Red Dead 2, and then I was like, I think that just means
yeah, you want to live in the past.
But for the sake of conversation, it could also mean I'm interested in the story of Arthur Morgan and his crew.
Sure.
So, like, maybe I'd like to be a part of this crew's story.
Yeah, that era, that place.
Like as if that was a real thing. And I'm sure historically there's been very similar cases of this. People doing whatever they need to do as like a meshed together family, and like something about that's like kind of enchanting to me, like having that group, having the danger and the thrill and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I like that. And I just have this admiration for the past, and that is a very interesting time, dangerous time. You never know what's going to happen to you. You go to town feel like there's a lot of good folks, but like at the same time, people could just shoot you down in the middle of nowhere at any point. Yeah. And I mean, if it's like the game, you know, you might be riding around shooting people off their horse. You know, I don't know what's going to happen to me out there, but like it's still an interesting thing. I'd like it, you know. I think the conversation would be so entirely different if it was like if you could go visit a video game.
Oh, absolutely. I would visit so many of these.
You know, and it's like, what would you do if you did? And, you know, and to be honest, with Red Dead 2, the reason I didn't really bring it up too much is because it's like, I don't know what I'd do. Like if I visited, I don't know what I'd do. What am I going to do? Like wander around the cities and be like, all right, that's enough. Right. I think, you know, experiencing the long term of that would be the draw, like having the experience of that group and going on the adventures and the train heists and all the things. Like that's the exciting piece of it, but that's where I'm just going to visit for a minute. I got to have the connection. I don't want the Star Fox #friendship. You know.
Fair enough. Well, okay, so this kind of ties into that. I didn't want to bring this up. I feel like I'm going to regret it.
I'm way more interested now.
But there is a major video game franchise we haven't discussed.
Okay.
That has a world that's similar enough to ours. Maybe a little flashier, maybe a little more over the top. But it does, of course, feature, you know, living animal-like creatures, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
And I'm thinking specifically like the adventure games, where like humans coexist with Sonic and his friends. And I do like there's certain things about Sonic that are enticing, right? The casinos, very bright, very fun. A lot of big chemical plants though nearby. I don't know how I feel about that.
They flawed.
I don't know. The music is crazy. I love the 3D Sonic music.
Yeah.
Like if we were just ska all the time in our world, that'd be neat.
That would be. I think it's hard for me to place myself in the Sonic world because I'm overwhelmed looking at the Sonic world. So I think I'd be so overwhelmed being in the Sonic world. And then you got Robotnik just doing his thing, you know?
Yeah, but it never works out.
So does your Sonic world include the movie?
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like that's a separate Sonic world.
Okay.
But I think kind of my logic is the same between both of them. I would just do what I do now. I would be a marketing guy and I would live in this world, and it's just a little more over the top than this one.
Okay.
And every once in a while a hedgehog saves the day, you know?
I mean, yeah, I'll swap my life for a Sonic life and just do what I do now. You know?
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't feel like I'm losing anything by doing it.
Exactly.
So
nothing would be lost living in the Sonic world.
It's simple. I think it's just that when you try to, you know, not talking about Sonic anymore, but when you try to place yourself as like the main character in some of these things, it's like, could you undertake this? And
no.
Okay.
I can't.
I like to think that I could, but to be honest, not in most cases. Not as I am. You throw me in, I'm not ready to go. You know, like let's talk about Uncharted, you know?
I can't do that.
No, I can't either. What am I gonna
do? You remember we used to, when we would skate, we would try to climb up that one wall.
Oh, dude.
You know, it was like a test of strength that we'd all do it. You did do it. I did not do it. And I wouldn't get very far in Uncharted.
Well, no, man, they're climbing up trains, but the trains are falling at the same time. Like, no, that's an extreme. Playing that game, jumping out of things into other moving things. Are you serious? As I am right now.
Killing so many people.
You what?
He's killing so many people.
Well, I can't do that. There's that piece of it as well, which, like, in a weird way, we're like, would you kill a guy or gal? And you're like,
200 of them.
You what?
200 of them in like 2 days. Yeah, it's a little.
There's treasure.
Sure, but again, that takes me back to Pikmin. Like I could do that.
Yeah,
I could explore. I could find things buried in the dirt. I could lead Pikmin. I could strategize. I could delegate. I can throw a Pikmin. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing about living in that world, being on our planet here as a Pikmin guy that I feel like I couldn't do.
Yeah. Honestly, this was so hard for me to think about because, like we've talked about, I play so many horror games that most of my library is like scary games for the most part. And
well, when you said you asked Amanda, I was like, I can't imagine, like, you're having her play Little Nightmares.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Dude, Little Nightmares? No way. That, I mean, like, is it a scary game? No. But, like, would that be scary in real life? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and then you think about, like, Dead Space, and you're like, absolutely not.
You can't.
Oh my God, dude.
No, and like Resident Evil, there's so much going on
in
Resident Evil.
Every time I play any not any, so like Biohazard, Village, the ones that kind of continue off of each other, and they're like, Ethan Winters is back at it again. Like, dude, the most tortured people in video games to me are like Ethan and Isaac Clarke, you know, where it's like, Isaac, they're like, it's the third Dead Space. They're like, Isaac, you gotta come back. He's like, no, God damn, please. Yeah. You know? And then Ethan, his wife, they have a kid, and then she has cut his hand off and was possessed. He rescued her, and then in Village, they're like, oh, look at our baby. She's so beautiful. And he's like, great, I feel completely comfortable sleeping at night, and also I'm glad that everything's okay and we could put that all behind us. And it's like,
yeah,
dude, you put me there one day and I see this, I forgot what they call it, the muck, like the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see the stuff.
This one. Yeah.
I would never forget that. My whole life, I'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the...
No, but there's a lot of forgive and forget in the Resident Evil world.
Yeah, they're cool with it. Just let it go.
All right. I think that is going to do it for us this episode. You know, I meant to mention this at the top. I read a little thing about how most podcasts quit after 7 episodes. And do you know what number episode this is, Jordan?
This is number 7.
This is number 7. So it's been great. It's been a good run.
7 weeks.
Yeah, most podcasts don't make it past 7.
Wow.
So are we going to beat the odds? Are we going to show up next week?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, like it was, hey, what we said in the beginning, we're doing it for us, whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying doing it. You know, it's been exciting with all the Switch 2 stuff, and we've got some good stuff that's come out, and some good stuff still ahead of us. So I'm excited to keep going and show up for number 8.
Yeah, 100%.
But until then, I've been Zachary Davis. That's Jordan Carlson. Thank you for listening or watching Podcasting with Power. Bye-bye. No buy for Jordan.
Oh, you're right.